And so after I raised it, I went to shower and said, you know what, I'm preparing to go to church. So while I was in the shower, I had the car drive off. And that is how he left.
Yeah.
I help people reconstruct identities.
Yeah.
Because the journey of my life was formed in places where I lost my identity.
A statistic, and it was jarring to me. It was 1 in 5 Australians is mentally. It was something along those lines. That was a shocking number to me.
And so at the kind of marriage I got into was emotionally abusive. Totally. And initially we can't even tell, because you see, like now from the assault, there's a part of me that was seeking validation.
Yeah.
This could be it can go either way, but there's nobody, like even in marriage, who gets married to walk out next week.
Oh, of course not.
No, it's like internally you're dead.
Yeah.
But you're moving.
Yeah.
But I think the light bulb moment came when one morning I was going to work in town, and I had put on different color of shoes. I know I normally say this and people are like,
wait, okay, so you're so it's already enough that you guys are coming into a blended family, but now there's the millions.
Yes.
How it started.
How.
Please talk us through. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Karibuni. Welcome to the Transparent Parenting Podcast. My goodness, I feel like it's been a year away, but like it hasn't been that long really. Welcome once again. Before I launch into it, if you haven't subscribed, because I keep bumping into some of you and you're like, oh my gosh, I watched that last episode and this. And I'm like, have you liked? Have you subscribed? But let me get my big stick out, because subscribing means that the algorithm does its thing and we get more viewership, and hopefully more parents are involved, more parents are informed. And obviously, if you like, then you're letting us know that we're doing a good job. And I am going to encourage you guys to start commenting or even DMing me if you want to on Instagram, because we want to know whether there's a certain other kind of content that you want us to, or what type of guests you want us to bring in, or what type of transparent conversations you would like for us to have. Now, if I am dressed as if I'm about to go to war with cold, it is because in this Nairobi, I don't know what is happening lately. It's not even June, July, but hello, what is with the cold? So if I look like I'm going to war with the cold, it is because I am going to war with the cold. I woke up this morning and I was like, I can't hack it. So that is what is going on. Guys, I have a guest and a half for you today. I don't even know. I was quickly reading through her bio again, because I'm like, do I have it all in my head? I'm so excited to introduce my next guest on this particular episode. I just want to throw some random crazy facts out there. Let me lead with this. As you feel like, if you feel like the parenting burden is a bit too much for you, I had one of those mornings today with my toddler. I was struggling to leave the house. And then I remember that my guest has 7 children. Yes, you had me right. 7 children. So just stop, let that sink in, because the next time you're feeling stressed about, oh my gosh, I forgot my third born's birthday. Ask yourself how a mother of 7 remembers her husband's birthday, her 7 children's birthdays, her own parents'. I don't even know. There's so many questions I have for her. But I have a guest on here today. Her name is Susan Kibe-Atsulu. So many layers to her story. I don't even know where to go with it. But I'm going to do my best to introduce her, and then I'll let her define herself, because I think there's so many titles and so many hats that we wear, and then we perceive people to be a certain way, but maybe for her she's like, actually, this is who I am, right? So I started off with the fact that she's a mother to 7 children, so just let that sink in. She is also an author. She's written a beautiful book which we'll get into later on, Gracefully Broken. She is an emotional wellness coach, which is, I can't even, so needed in this day and age. So we'll also touch a little bit on that. She has won countless awards, has her own podcast, which I might get the name wrong, but I know that she runs a network called Claim Your Crown, right? Her story is movie worthy. I don't just say that, but you would have to read the book to get the fullness of her story. And in the interest of time, there's certain bits I'm just going to have to fast forward through. But she's also been a victim of sexual assault, and actually that started her on a lot of the journey that she's going to sort of talk us through. But some of what I was really drawn into with her story is the fact that she has been a single mom, and then she's also a mother in a blended family. She's got children from her husband's previous marriage, and then obviously children from her own. And so we're going to be touching on all those topics today, but I want to actually turn over to her and let her introduce herself. Karibu sana Pasi. Oh, did I mention that she's also, you hear me talking to her and referring to her as Pasi. She's also a pastor at Ruach Tabernacle. She actually leads the women's ministry. It's called Kingdom Woman. And so, without further ado, I'm going to let Pastor Sue actually introduce herself.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you for having me.
Karibu.
Yeah, and I think you have said it in all the levels and layers you should have. So my name is Susan Kibe-Atsulu, as I said.
Yeah.
I'm born again. I'm a child of God. And I normally say, amongst the children that God really loves, I am one of them.
Yeah.
I am a product of grace.
Yeah.
I am a girl that God has, loved, delivered, healed, Yeah, I'm a blending mom. As you said, I'm married to Mr. Frank Atsulu.
Yeah.
And we are parenting a clan of 7. I'm a mother of nations.
Small soccer team.
They call me Mama Africa.
Wow.
So even when you're saying about their birthdays, my birthday, his birthday, our parents, and we don't even go to parents. No, it's fine. Parents, let's just flow. Yeah, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm an emotional wellness coach, as I said.
Yeah.
I help people reconstruct identities.
Yeah.
Because the journey of my life was formed in places where I lost my identity, and I saw how that affected me.
Yeah.
So for me to find myself, I realized, if somebody had held my hand then, probably there's some things I wouldn't have experienced. And so that is why I do what I do, to help people find identity, work in emotional wellness, find their self-awareness and embrace themselves.
Yeah.
And I always believe I love that your podcast is the transparent parenting, because I also say I'm a student of authenticity. We have grown with a lot of filters and, movie-like stories that are fiction. Until when you're faced with a real situation, you might think like you are alone in it.
Yeah.
So I really believe in authentic conversations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And I'm so glad to be here.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
She's also omitted the fact that she's a financial advisor, plus so many other things. I'm pretty sure that, as she's talking, I'm also remembering, she's like, oh my goodness, she also does this, she does this. And I'm looking at her and thinking, do we have the same 24 hours that everyone else is allocated? Because just the fact that you've even made time to be here is such a blessing. So Karibu,
Thank you.
I appreciate you. I want to get into the emotional wellness. And the reason I say that is because for the longest, I lived overseas. And that was when I discovered mental health as a thing. Let me put it that way. I arrived in Sydney in 2000, and there were some crazy statistics. I remember at the time, I had never even heard the term mental health. Coming from this African background and then moving there, I never had that term. And I remember seeing a statistic, and it was jarring to me. It was 1 in 5 Australians is mentally, or I can't remember if it was mentally ill, because that just sounds politically incorrect. But it was something along those lines. That was a shocking number to me. And then the extremity of that definition, because in my head, mental illness is, as soon as I hear illness, it's extreme. So now I'm thinking the extremes of bipolar or like a crazy person. In fact, the word we would use in Kenya was, when you would see a crazy, you're like mwenda wazimu. So that's what I was thinking. So I'm looking around. I'm in this tiny nation of 20 million people, and the statistic is 1 in 5 people has mental illness. So I'm thinking, wait, kila mtu hapa, 1 in 5 people. If we're sitting in a kabas, I'm like, moja wao ni mwenda wazimu, because that's the extreme. And mwenda wazimu, Juma, you're going to put a definition here for our overseas audience, but it is literally crazy person. So that's what I understood mental, and then obviously over the years, I've been exposed to what it meant. And that's because back home in Kenya, no one really openly talked. You can imagine 2000, no one is openly talking about mental health. Nobody's talking about what it is. So that was why, for me, that was the extreme definition that came to mind until obviously my eyes started to open. So how did you even get into mental health, like emotional wellness? Because if I was to reflect on conversations around anything emotional, again, growing up in Kenya, it was dismissed. Jikakamue, can you be strong? Like, come on, get yourself together. You know, there are people who are living in the slums and they have 8 children and they don't know where their next ugali is coming from and they're fine. Like, so you are taught or you are conditioned to ignore whichever is going on with you. Get up, keep moving. So, you know, the fact that you're even, like, I'm even like, oh my goodness, that's a thing. How did you get into that?
As I said earlier, most of what I do now is as a result of my journey. And so in the course of my journey, when I was a single mom, because I really wanted to get married, there's something about, because my biological son, my firstborn, is turning 18 this year. So that was 18 years ago is when I became a mom.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the stigma that came with being a single mom.
Yes.
And then it was actually single mother. Single mother. It was not even single mom looks cool. Yeah. And so I really wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Because I'm also coming from a background of mom and dad. So I didn't understand how to raise a child alone.
So it's safe to say you were looking for your identity in marriage. So it's not even so much wanting companionship. It's that this defines me.
Yes. To get that definition of I'm married to somebody and like that. And so, so at the kind of marriage I got into was emotionally abusive. Totally. And initially you can't even tell because you see, like now from the assault, there's a part of me that was seeking validation. Yeah. You know, I want someone to tell me it's okay, you know, you're still beautiful, you're still and all that. Yeah. And so if you get somebody who will tell you, even those words on the surface, you're already hooked, you're in. Then before you realize it, I said receiving words, like harsh words, like about my weight, like I'm no longer beautiful. Yeah. I am, you know, you can do things better. And then you see, because I really wanted to get married, when I was getting, in my book I call it the counterfeit marriage, because it was really counterfeit. So when I was getting into the counterfeit marriage, I came open. That is the point where I even quit alcohol. I became a good girl. I wanted to settle down. So you can imagine I came with all the good that I could carry.
I'm going to pour the best of me into this marriage.
Yeah. And so even I would call them mistakes I made. Yeah. Was even to say, oh, you know where I'm coming from. Yeah. You know, even stories of where I was and body count and all that. Yeah. So now, in the midst of our conversation, if a name even came up that we have discussed in the past, it was already war. Yeah. Like I met somebody in town, Miss X. I'm like, oh, so you're still talking to them and all that? I'm like, my God. By that time, I didn't know my partner at that time was also hurting. Yeah. He was from us separated. He had separated. Yeah. So you see, it's the bleeding. We were both bleeding on each other.
So now you're cutting each other. Kapsa.
Yes. So I think because of being told all those harsh words, being demeaned, and being made feel like this is the best for you. You cannot get anything better out of this. Yeah. You know? And with time, I didn't realize what it was doing to me, but it was eroding me. Yeah. The identity I was trying to seek now was being eroded.
Because you're absorbing what you're being told and you're believing it.
You're believing it. Yeah. So you begin to doubt yourself. You begin to... There's like you see imposter syndrome. Yeah. There's nothing good that you
and then I'm guessing it's also validating because you've gone through the assault, which probably left you feeling a certain kind of way. Guys, by the way, we've just sort of jumped into the middle of a story, but you have to get the book to know that, you know, there was that sexual assault, which, you know, then she went into drinking and all these different things that she was doing. But I'm guessing all the things he's saying is now validating probably how you felt back there of, am I worthy? Am I, you know? Yeah.
And I realized that I remember the time my mom would visit. And one day she just casually asked me, so she's preparing in the morning. So where is your mirror? Can I use them? I told her, Mom, I don't have a mirror. So this is a girl in her 20s, going to 30s. No mirror in the house. How? I'm like, Mom, I'm okay. You know, because I think I had lost, my self-worth was zero.
So you don't even want to see yourself?
No, I'm good. I'll just wake up and shower, put my whatever lotion and just go where I'm going. Yeah. And then also just lacking the even the ability to develop yourself. Like for those 3 years in the counterfeit marriage, I didn't buy even a spoon. You know the way women, you go on the street, you see something nice. I'm thinking I would want this for my family. Nothing, not even a spoon, not even a plastic cup, nothing. I didn't buy anything.
Is it that you're thinking I'm not worth it, or I'm not
like I don't deserve all those things anyway. Let's just move on with life. It's like you internally you're dead. But you're moving. But I think the light bulb moment came when one morning I was going to work in town and I had put on different color of shoes. And I normally say this and people are like,
wait, okay, so you're talking left, right were different colors?
Yes, like there you can have the same heel, but different, black and brown. And I didn't even notice. I think the way you can just have your shoes somewhere on the rack, so I just put on my shoes. You slip them on
and you go.
And went. So now when I went to the office, in the midst of a meeting, I crossed my legs, I'm like, oops, okay, so... moved on, waited for the meeting to end, of course, because I couldn't just walk out. Then immediately after the meeting, I went home. But I think now on my way back home, I kept thinking, Susan, something is off.
Seriously wrong,
Something is off. Now later, I started assessing my life and even the way I've been thinking, the way I've been feeling, and I realized I was slowly sinking into depression. And you see, like the way you're saying, it's not, like I don't even remember those years if there was anywhere I would go and tell somebody, I don't know how I'm feeling, and they would want to sit you down because we're like, you know what, things happen in marriages, just work it out, and then this is emotional abuse.
You're still married at this time when
because
this
I was in it for 3 years, and then you see, we grew up with the narrative of abuse is physical, so it'd be, is he hitting you? No, if he's not hitting you, it's fine.
You don't even have a term to describe how he's making you feel.
Because you see, there's no abuse. We can't validate abuse at all. But you know, when somebody has a black eye, you can heal a black eye.
And you can see it. There's evidence of abuse.
Emotional abuse, there's no way you are healing if you don't get intentional to deal with it. So I think now going back home, I'm like, oh my God, Susan, you are slowly losing yourself. And then I also remember one of my brothers one time had commented, I'm like, I don't know. There's a way nowadays you're not like the you we know. I'm their last born sister and I'm an only girl. So you can imagine they have seen me grow. They have seen me. So one of my brothers told me,
something's not up.
Something is off. So I think now that was like a realization. I'm like, you know what? I think this is not right. Whatever. And then you see by now I'm already feeling, no, where I can't even go anywhere. How will I raise my children alone? You see, whatever had gotten me in. Like, how will I raise these children alone? So you're like, let me just, maybe we can pray, maybe it will. But
are you born again at this point, or you're still trying to figure out your...
Initially, I wasn't born again, but I got born again in the midst of the mess. Yes. Okay. Because I think like towards I was there, I think my 3rd year. Because I remember I kept feeling... there's something off. There's just something about, but I couldn't pick. And you see now, my daughter's father, he got me in the club. So I didn't even know anything about covenant, or he was married, or I'm thinking I did not chase anybody. When he came, he was alone, and he told me he's alone.
I'm not the reason for his.
I'm not the reason. So now, but now I know better. So now, like when I got born again and I started praying and just seeking God. Then I didn't know what was that, but I remember I could hear. Now I know it's the Holy Spirit who was cushioning me and telling me I've really wanted to settle down, but this is not it. And I would also hear that if that other woman cries, the tears will affect me somehow. And by this time, I'm raising a daughter. So I all those now things were now helped me to make a decision to, you know what, Susan? You need to do better. You need to break this chain. Even if not for myself, for my daughter. Yes. So now those were the things that made me realize I need to come out of this. So now coming out of it and looking for personal development, I hear my friend has to do which program. I'm like, I want to join. So then you start learning things like inner healing. I don't know, understanding about your family, where you're coming from. I'm like, what is all this?
So all this is new to you,
Very new to me. But within a span of like a year, 2 years, 3 years, I was a new person. And it could even show on my face. Because by this time, my brother was telling me, there's just something about you. He kept saying, okay, then now it was like on a light note, like, even if life is so good for you, it's like you are just, you're not taking care of yourself anymore. There's a way, umejiachilia.
You let yourself go. Okay,
I was 30-something by that time, or going to 30, and I looked 50. Yes, if I would show you my photo now, this and then, you can't compare. You can't.
Yeah.
So now that finding myself, and I realized, oh, but then there's more to life. By the way, people do not have to talk you down. There's a
And
way
you
somebody
accept
and you
it.
accept. No. And then you're not what people say you are. And you can shake off all that thing. So all this realization and even seeing what it did to me made me realize, by the way, there are many people who are trapped and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And especially in relationships.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
trapped,
God,
yeah.
you get trapped
Yeah.
and then you don't know how to get out. Because that getting out, and by the way, it has to be an individual decision.
Yeah.
Because even like with my own mother, now later when I told her, Mom, I have prayed and I feel this is what God is leading me, my mom was so excited because she
yeah.
could see it.
Now, I know you have a staunch Catholic background.
Yes.
So I'm very surprised that your mother
Let me tell you.
But, you know, I mean, obviously, she cares about her child. She's like,
Yeah.
this is what's going to bring my
She
child
could,
freedom.
yeah, but she told me she could see it.
Boy.
She could see like she's losing me.
Yeah.
But she can't come and tell me, I don't think this marriage is the one. No. Of course, I will defend it and I'm standing by
And
this
you're her
person
only
and all
daughter.
that.
She didn't want to.
Yes. So the moment I told her, I have prayed, and I think also for them now, like when I got born again,
Yeah.
considering where I'm coming from,
Yeah.
please, umeokoka is we receive you.
She's not
Whichever-
she's not in the
yes.
she's not
Yes, so for them it was a plus, you know. Yeah, so my mother was very excited because she could see it,
Yeah.
but no, she didn't know how to tell me. So she felt like it's like now God has given her child back.
I want to ask about your children at this time. In the 3 years that you're in the marriage, obviously you have come into this marriage with your son, and then your daughter has been born into this
yeah.
marriage. Are they feeling the impact of who you are at that time, or not actually? Because you're not even self-aware. You knew something was off. So was it impacting the way you were parenting your children? Was it impacting, or like, were you guys, like, even with him being emotionally abusive, was it in front of the children, especially your son? Because I can imagine there's a dynamic there for him. This guy isn't his dad. He's talking a certain way to my mother. And then what is going on with my mom? Were they feeling the brunt of what you were going through?
I think then I really wouldn't know because even me, I was in the mess. But later, like now, my son, if you ask, like now he tells his siblings, you guys are so lucky. You encountered mom. You encountered mom when she was not military. Apparently, he says I was military mom then. But I say I was military mom because I was parenting out of pain.
Yes.
And then because I really wanted this to work, anytime he would make a mistake, I've left him. Like he remembers one time I left my baby was on, no, my daughter used to be called what? Baby walker.
Baby
I've
walker,
left the baby in the walk, and then my son is busy watching, was it cartoon or something? Then my daughter like went to the walker until like the first step of the house, and I think she actually fell. And I was so angry. I think the way I beat that boy, I can't remember.
And he had nothing to do. He was just...
Yes. And even I think whatever he was playing with, I spoilt it. You see all this makasiriko
all
things.
the rage is being
So
poured
now
into.
later, he no, we are very tight. So he would tell me like, hey, Mom, you remember that time and that time? Now he recounts those things. He tells me how he suffered. How he suffered when we were in that counterfeit marriage, and because it was just, he felt like it was now, life was revolving around my daughter.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like it's her I'm protecting, and so
Yeah.
everything he does is wrong.
You're trying to make this work.
Yes, I'm trying to really make this work.
Can we?
But I think for my daughter, really no, because her is like she now experienced all the love, being the baby, and then of course from this man, this is a biological daughter. But later on, now like when we were on our own, we would talk about it, and my son would like, by the way, Mom, you remember this and this? And I'm like, oh, why didn't you guys say? But then I tell her, by the way, me, I wouldn't have noticed. Yeah. So then I don't think we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But with children, they pick.
Yeah. No,
And
they're
they
very
have a
sensitive.
photographic memory.
Yeah.
So he was just packing. And I thank God it did not affect him in any way at that time.
Yeah.
And that he was able to let it out later.
Yeah, that he's even able to joke about it today and tell
Oh,
you
yes.
guys, this version of you guys are so...
Oh, he tells the siblings, you are lucky. This
This version of Mom is a completely different one to what he experienced.
Yeah.
So I want to go back a little to... so we're going to talk about how, obviously, you got your breakthrough. And you're thinking, okay, this has been so good for me because now you discovered that there's life beyond the labels maybe that had been slapped on you by your husband at the time. So I'm guessing you come out of that marriage. Was it kind of like a natural, or you took a stand and you were like, I can't stay in this any longer? What happened?
I think for me, the reason why I keep saying that God really showed me mercy.
Yeah.
At the point when I realized this thing is not working,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with him. And apparently, when he said, yeah, by the way, even me, I've been saying, because you see now when he came into my life, me, I'm the one who was in the club. Him, he was a man
he
of
was in
God. He
church.
was
I think
even
I remember you
ministering and
saying
all
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's like we switched lives. Yeah, so me, I became a good person. Then
He
he went to the other side.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think he realized he's even drifted from purpose. And so he said, you know what, by the way, even me, I think, yeah, this, we are not in
It's not
purpose.
working. So it was a
That's why,
mutual kind
yes.
of, yeah.
Though it didn't happen immediately. After that, I think we still took another 1 month. Until now, one day,
Yeah.
I woke up and told him, we agreed this thing we need to, like, go our separate ways.
Yeah.
And so I remember it was a Sunday morning, I was going to church. And so by this time, I've stopped going to church. Well, like, you go occasionally because something will either happen on Saturday night, is a disagreement or something. So Sunday, you're feeling, you know what. So one Sunday morning, I woke up and raised that conversation. This time, my children were at my mom's. They were not, so it was just the two of us. And so after I raised it, I went to shower and said, you know what, I'm preparing to go to church. So while I was in the shower, I had the car drive off. And that is how he left.
Yeah.
Yes.
Into the sunset, gone. Like,
yes.
that was it.
That was it.
And yeah, the mercy of God and the grace of God and how it works. So fast forward, you've gotten your breakthrough, you've started to see what was going on. How long did that process take? And then at what point do you realize, I want to help others?
When I was taking time to find myself.
Yeah.
No, when I left, after this, now when I left the counterfeit marriage, I said, you know what, now this is me.
Yeah.
Susan, and you blundered 100, but you blundered, but because you're still standing, pick yourself up, raise these children, they're looking up to you. And then I realized I'll be more helpful when I am healthy and sane and sober. So my papa said, you know what? Now, okay, it has already happened. Let's dust yourselves. And so I just picked my children and we started life together. And I can
so you're
tell
staying
you,
at the same place?
no, we moved.
Oh, you had to move.
We moved to a new place. I felt I needed a new environment, a fresh start, even for them. And we were in that new environment, not before I got married, for like 6 years.
Yeah.
But I think those 6 years were a part of the best moments of our lives. Oh, we made beautiful memories.
Yeah.
We had our world that we were working to build our world, and like at that time I didn't even care. I didn't care if people would talk.
Yeah.
Because that time when I told my mom, remember I told my mom, I've prayed and I feel this is what God is leading me to do. And then at that time I also told my pastors, I was worshiping in another place, and I told my pastors, this is what I feel. And I'm like, you know what, we support you. If this is your choice you have made and you're doing it to honor God, God will also honor you. And so I realized, you know what, I do not care what anybody else feels.
Yeah.
I remember at that point, even my firstborn brother called me. He's not in the country, so I received a call. I was in town and told me, I talked to Kina Mom and they told me the decision you have made, and I just wanted to tell you that we are supporting you.
Wow, so you had everyone's blessing. Yeah.
Yes, my own father moved after now I left home to tell them what I wanted. A week later, he came to Nairobi and told me, we meet in town, he's buying me lunch. And that's what he came to tell me. He told me, I heard what you said when you came home, and I have just come to repeat what we told you.
Wow.
That we're here to support you.
Support,
Oh my God.
The love.
That meant the world to me.
Yeah. Because you're validated in your decision, and you're like, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yes. So now I had the energy to now begin my journey.
Yeah.
And so it is in this time when now I started doing more of those parenting. Out here, there's a parenting class where mothers of sons, I am there. Intentional moms, I am in it. All those things I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And then I realized there's so much that we do not get. Probably we do not get in school, not get it in church. We do not. If you're not deliberate in the communities you're living in, you will not get it.
Yeah.
And so in I think like 4 years into now that our building our world, that is when I started Claim Your Crown. And I started it because I realized that time I used to work with a lot of single moms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my God, there are many single moms who are feeling appear vulnerable. Like you can fall into anybody's trap just because you want to get married.
Yeah.
And I started just doing things for single moms. So I have this group. I'm encouraging people. I'm just working with people. I didn't know it was in me. It was like
You're just
ministry in
thinking
me.
you're trying to encourage fellow, like, come on, guys,
Because
we can do this.
we can do this.
Yeah,
And whatever you have been through does not define who you are.
Yeah.
And you cannot shortchange yourself. As in the moment I realized those things, I'm like, my God, you can even be a single mom of 3 or 4. And a man will come and love you and marry you.
Yeah.
But if nobody has shown that picture to you, you'll just be in your corner thinking, me even now, who will marry me with my children?
And in the society we live in, I think we had talked about this on the phone, the society that we live in can be so brutal because nobody stops to ask themselves how you arrived at single
That's
motherhood.
it.
Not that it matters,
That's it.
really, but nobody stops to ask themselves how you arrived at that. But there's labels, there's associations with, and I've seen it, which shocks me. Some people don't want their children playing with single mothers' children's because utapata pata tabia mbaya, or you're gonna get bad behavior from that kid. Why? Why do we perceive that way? Oh, that one. Or even if the child acts out, which children are learning and growing, they will act out. The assumption is, it's because they don't have a father. Yeah, they don't have a dad. That's why. Or all this sort of stuff. So. I mean, I know we could go to town with single motherhood. So there's so many out there. And I didn't realize how much they really cop it. Like, they really, really do. The comments people make, things that, so you feeling that way in this society and trying to encourage people that, hey, you don't have to be defined by... Yeah.
And it's even, I think the way, now that you have said it, I realized, like in that space where we were in, because most of those ladies by now are already married. Yeah, and so I remember, I think even the drive to improve yourself is to give your children the best. I realized some of the single moms is like we overwork. No, because of that.
You're
because
making
you
up
don't
for...
want. You like. I remember even myself. I would say I would never want anywhere in life for it to be said that these children turned out like this because they were raised by a single mom. And God is so faithful. He counts all those seasons. Because even when I got married, if I looked at my children like this, you could see. Yeah, there was like an outright difference. Like now, I got married when my son was 11, going to 12, thereabouts. And he was already an independent young man. Like, I can leave him the house and go.
He'll do his...
I can travel.
Yeah.
And I'm at peace.
And not worried about
And I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I think also when our children are raised by both parents, if you're not intentional, you feel like, see, their dad will do this, and the dad feels their mother will do this. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes there could be a gap.
Yeah.
So all those things single moms do. By the time I was getting married, my son had already done Boys to Men. It was virtual during COVID. And anywhere you get help, I'm pushing you into it.
Yeah.
So that you can also be equipped. So I think it is important even for people to understand that nobody... This could be it can go either way, but there's nobody, like even in marriage, who gets married to walk out next week.
Oh, of course not.
No.
Unless you're in Hollywood, because it seems to be a thing, I remember there was a time, was it like Britney Spears, a quick wedding in Las Vegas for 1 week? It's like, I was married for like...
Yeah, no, not in that element of a movie star and all that. So long as you're saying you're okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody gets married to move out. But the time you're seeing a woman packed her bags to leave, I could just leave her. Yes, because we have also seen even statistics. Even just this week, there was a story of a lady who was murdered. Very beautiful lady, very beautiful with one child. Because by the time someone makes that decision, it's a very brave move. It's
takes a lot.
Actually, you're not even seeing. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, but you're thinking, you know what? We'll go and look for the light. So it's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, and so the best we can do, even in our own spaces, is just extend grace to these people and realize they are also human beings like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think those are the things that were driving me, because I've been feeling like there's just this stigma. Because now you see that stigma is what led me even into the counterfeit marriage to feel, I'm not a single mother.
I have a man. I have some. It's funny, we're talking about this, and I may have touched on it, but I was raised by a single dad. And society's expectations and what they push, they also have their own struggles. So my dad just chose and opted not to marry I think my dad remarried when we were like fully adults, living our own lives. In fact, it was kind of like by the time he remarried, we're like, oh, good job. Like, good for you. You finally have a companion and all of that. But, I remember my youngest brother would have been maybe just about to turn 3. I know he was still on a baby bottle. Like we have a photo of him at my mom's funeral and he had a baby bottle. So he was really, really young. And so society, because this is the 90s, society at the time, everybody was pushing. And in fact, they were setting him up for failure because those are the words that were being spoken over him. You need a wife. You can't do this on your own. Kwanzaa, he is a commercial airline pilot. What do you mean you're going away for 3-4 days at a time, leaving your children with who?
Alone,
Yeah, you need a wife. You need to. So there was so much pressure to marry. And I remember my dad actually ended up, he stopped going to church because as soon as you come into church, everybody has a niece, an auntie, you need to get married, constantly in his ear. And all he was trying to do was, one, get over the grief of losing his wife. Number 2, I've got these young kids. And so it's interesting you talk about that pressure that single moms want to almost overcompensate for the fact that this child doesn't have a dad. So we're going to work hard. I'm going to get this kid into every program. I'm going to make sure that he comes up and doesn't feel that emptiness of not having a father figure. It was the same thing with my dad. And we were talking about it with him. It was actually last year. And I said, Dad, I don't think you would have been the dad you are today if my mom was still around. And exactly what you said. When there's 2 of you, there's kind of like a little bit of a laxity because it's like, this one can do this one can do this. But Dad was trying to be. To this day, he still is mom and dad. And I don't even know how to explain it, but it is in that engagement where, at one moment he's a confidant, next thing he's your protector, next thing. So he has really done well to, and I know it's the grace of God, really done well to embody both mom and dad. In fact, so he's my mom dad, But yeah, it's interesting because single parenting, let me just put it that way, because, we talk about single moms, but like I said, African society, there's different expectations on single moms and judgments. At the same time, at every stage of my dad's life, whether it was us going into high school, and I'm going to have him on the show one of these days, but at every stage of our lives, there was always that expectation of failure. Like people, so I also, I have to say, felt a little bit of pressure as his daughter, because now I started to understand it. I'm the eldest, started to understand it, that everyone kept telling you, you're being so stubborn, you're going to fall flat on your face. I don't know if there was an expectation of people that I would end up pregnant, maybe because now her dad is sometimes not home. I don't know what kind of expectations were there, but it's like, you're going to fail, you're going to fall flat on your face. We've been telling you, you need to get married, So it's interesting there where you were talking about that, you've noticed that single moms feel that pressure to
almost overwork to fill the gap.
Yeah. So then, as we go along with your story, you meet Mr. Man. Or you had always known. I'm calling him Mr. Man. Mr. Atsulu.
Yeah.
You meet him along the way. There's an interesting dynamic as to how you meet him and how you guys get together. So I'll let you get into that because I think it's important, obviously, again, with societal expectations and people's perceptions.
Yeah.
So it's already enough that you guys are coming into a blended family, but now there's how it started. Please talk us through. So you're on your own little journey of that 6 years where you're building beautiful memories, living your best life.
Living our best life. I feel like we were playing catch up of what we lost.
Yeah.
And so in I think after 6 years now, that's when my husband approached me.
Yeah.
He had lost his wife. We used to go to church together.
Same church,
but I knew them. The way you knew Bashrik from a distance.
That family.
Yeah. I actually didn't even know all the children myself.
Yeah.
I knew, I think, the younger ones. Like, I didn't know his elder daughter. So I was not in their lives at all.
Was it a small church where you kind of, all the families kind of know each other? And
yeah, you can say that. It was not really a big church. But so I knew him from Faile. Hi, we go to the same church.
Yeah.
And so now when I think the first time he approached me, he told me he wanted to talk to me. And so I assumed, it has to be a church matter. Like where I was serving, where I was serving, the department I was serving, sometimes we were answerable to the elder. So I'm like, maybe
he was an elder.
He was an elder in that church.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe he just wants something, a report or something. I'm like, it's fine, okay, yeah. So when I was supposed to meet him, I didn't meet him. And I actually went home. So he told me, I think he called me, then I told him I was not feeling well. So, but I think we'll talk on Sunday.
Yeah.
So now I think, we didn't meet on any of the Sundays. So now one of the Saturday mornings he calls me. I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. How are the children? So then this discussion was going. I'm like, my children, how have they got to come to this conversation?
Yeah. Which report is this he wants?
I know. Yeah, so I said, okay. Anyway, but because I couldn't see it anywhere. I couldn't see it anywhere.
Haukuwa na agenda.
At all. So, and now the day he actually said it, that he wanted us, there's something he wanted to tell me.
Yeah.
And he feels like time is running. No, time is running out came later. Yeah. Initially, he told me he wants to talk to me. He would want us, I think, to go for coffee or something. I'm like, I even remember venting at my friend. I'm like, can you imagine?
A whole elder.
Hey, this elder.
I love that.
Was he looking at me funny when his wife was alive? Has he even healed? He just lost his wife.
So now you're starting to feel there's something not...
Because I can also foresee whatever is coming. These single mothers cannot even allow a widower to heal.
She's just gone in, the vulture that she is. I can see it.
I think I was just trying to think of all these things. But plus I couldn't even see
how it's going to work.
Yeah, so one time, so now we finally met and he told me what he wanted to tell me. He wanted to take me out for coffee. He wants to get to know me and he's not searching. He told me, what I'm telling you, nimekwambia, you go think about it. You will come and tell me, but just know, I am not, like after you, I'm not asking somebody else. First of all, I'm thinking, this man, the audacity, my God.
Yeah.
He's not even searching, he's done. Amekwambia na ameenda. Then I think in that conversation he said, no, I didn't even answer. Later he told me that this meeting he's pushing for, I think as he was praying, he felt in his spirit, if he doesn't tell me, time is running out. Something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but like time is running out.
Yeah.
That time was running out now was my message, not his. And why it was my message was because by that time, there's somebody else who had expressed interest. But I had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions.
Yeah.
I felt like our values didn't match. And then you see now the benefit of healing, I could already see.
Yeah.
I could see the I'm like, this one, let me just raise my children.
Yeah.
I see this one, so I could already see. So now when he told me that, and now when I went, because I told him, you have prayed. Even me allow me to pray, and I also.
Yeah.
So when I went to pray, I remember I had it very clearly in my spirit that I am not confused. Because I'm thinking, but you God, and I've been waiting, then now you have brought these two people. This one is like this one. And I had in my spirit, you're not confused, you know what to do. And what gave me peace is the Holy Spirit told me to allow my heart to listen, to learn this man. Yeah, don't just put walls and not just allow your heart to learn him.
Yeah.
And then for this other one, you know what to do because I could already see red flags. I was trying to see maybe they can be pink, but it was really red. Yeah, so I think after that, that was my message. So I knew here we are not. So for me, I continued with life.
Yeah. So
we started going for coffee. And I listened, I heard him out.
Yeah.
And then now when he had told me and convinced me, now we went to see our pastor then. And of course, when I was even going to the pastor, I had a scripture. I'm thinking, Lord, if the Bible says that when the time is right, God will make it happen. Oh, my pastor asked me, so who says this is not the right time? Because I was wondering, has he even healed? I didn't want
to feel like I'm getting... How long was this after his wife had passed?
A year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A year.
And he'd been married for how long?
Like 18 years.
Wow. So I can see why you're doing that math in your head, thinking, surely.
Yeah, surely. Have you... And so I remember my pastor at that time told me something that I've never forgotten. Everywhere I go, I say it because it said, what do we go to do when we go for people? When people are grieving, we go to comfort them and pray that God would heal them. And so if God is able to heal cancer... We have had testimonies, people have been healed of HIV, AIDS, instantly.
Or a tumor has disappeared.
Fibroids may melt. So how can the same God heal grief?
Yeah.
Why would we want to push this person further, to heal further? We are feeling he has not healed. Meanwhile, he's the one who is healing. I think that was like,
okay.
Yeah, and I think now I just put my guard down and allowed myself to learn him.
Yeah.
And listen to him. And of course, we could discuss... Even like about the wife, he would tell me, like the first thing he told me to do was to take him to Langata.
Oh,
the wife
where she was
buried. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think now in my heart I understood, not that I have taken up this journey. Any part of the assignment that needs my support with healing, I am already in it. So of course we went and stood at a distance as he went near the grave and all. And I felt, I don't know, I really, until today, I can't tell what that made him feel.
Yeah.
But it's like it gave him a, something like I go ahead.
You know where I'm coming from.
Yes.
You know that,
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we started going out. But for us now, we were already adults. Me, I was already almost 40. Him is in his 40s. So we know what we want.
What you want.
Yeah, it's not like I'm trying to look for, I don't know what in this man. And so our biggest responsibility was for our children.
Absolutely.
And I feel like our dating years, much of us going for dinner and having coffee and all, a lot of work also went to the children.
At what point did you guys now feel it was comfortable to, okay, firstly, I'm seeing somebody, and it's not somebody that is a stranger, I guess, because you guys were kind of in the same church community. So at what point did you now, or how did you even break it to your children that we are dating and with the intention of hopefully, getting married?
When he approached me and we had talked maybe like for a month or 2 months, now he knew I am at peace and I'm no longer fighting. I think he told his children. He said with his daughters that like a question, if dad was to remarry, how would you? Yeah, and of course with children it comes in different ways. The firstborn was like, now will she accept us? How will it be? And then because now them they knew me from church. As this pastor, Mwanamwananga uko mbele, I have 2 children already, so how shall it be? The second-born was, I can't even remember how she was then, but she took some time. Okay, of course, immediately they felt, you know what, Daddy, it will make you happy as we are supporting it, because they were also feeling they were in school. The first one was in high school, the other one was also in school, and there was a 3-year-old who had been left by the mom.
That's the age of my daughter. That's a toddler.
So maybe they're feeling, if you know that if it makes you happy and it will help you, why not? And then on my end, when now he told me, and I think actually when we saw the pastor is well now for me, I felt this is it. So I told my children. And because we were in that space where they were already praying for me.
Wow.
My children are already praying for me to get married.
Will get someone. How do you put it in a language that is age appropriate? Like, what do you say? How did you tell them?
We used to have conversations of mommy getting married. And so I remember during COVID, my daughter would tell me, Mom, you keep saying it's expensive to have weddings. Now people are doing weddings virtually.
Wow.
I'm like, before we go
They're even
virtual,
giving you solutions.
Yeah. Before we go virtual, we need the man. We can't just go virtual without somebody. Yeah. So, and so one day I asked them if God answered this prayer for us, how would it be?
Yeah.
Of course, they're like, they're excited. They're anxious. They want to know who.
How old are your kids at this time? Because this is so good that they're
My daughter was, she's 6, 7, thereabouts.
Yeah.
My son was headed to 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's no anxiety around, who will we get? It's more excitement.
It's more
around.
excitement.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And I think because also we healed together. I
that
embraced
6 years
them
was
together.
Important.
Yes, the 6 years were totally important.
Time.
Even for us to cement our relationship again. And for them to know that I'm still your mother. However, whatever happens. Because that is what also translates into the blended family. I had to assure, especially now my son was a preteen, then now he's a teenager, and then he's been this man in my life, and then I'm getting married, only man. So I have always had to make sure they're comfortable by affirmation.
Yeah.
And that he knows I got married, yes, but I'm still your mother. I did not find love and lose you people.
Yeah.
So for us, it was that excitement and looking forward, how shall it be? Yeah. It was not difficult.
Your first time as a family, I'm guessing where you all dated as a family, because I imagine there would have been an initial, guys, let's go out for an outing. And how was that?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was now the last born's, his birthday. You can imagine I have 9 birthdays in a year.
So when you say last born, you mean your husband's last born?
My husband's last born. So it was his birthday.
Yeah.
And so we decided we are going out to celebrate his birthday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just all of us sitting around, we went to some place in Utawala, I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
So we were sitting around the table. It's like everybody wanted to serve us. They're like, oh my God, this family. It just looked amazing and beautiful.
Yeah.
And so we celebrated his birthday, cut cake, children played together. I had time to talk to the girls and all that. It was beautiful. That was our first.
Yeah.
All of us together.
Yeah.
But the children had come to my place at some point. Now when we started dating, the children would come to my place, mine would go to his place.
Yeah.
But now all of us together was that birthday.
fantastic. And it went well.
Well, it went well. It
And
was
yeah,
beautiful.
the grace and the mercy of God.
It was beautiful.
Guy, time is going, but I want to know a little bit more about the blended journey, because I think when we had our initial conversation, you told me that there's been opportunities to learn, there's been mistakes along the way. What has your journey been like? You know, what are some of the opportunities where you're like, okay, over there I could have, what has it been like?
I think the blending journey really, for me, my whole life has been a journey of grace. The blending has been the ice, because the blending journey has been a journey of learning and learning, relearning.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing together two families, different cultures.
And I don't even just mean culture like Kenyan culture. I'm talking about
like the things,
how
we used
family
to do
was
things.
done here, how family was done
how
here.
we used to do things on this side. So it has to come to a place where we agree.
Yeah.
On like forming our
culture.
own. Yes, forming our own culture.
Yeah.
And also, I think one of the biggest, I would say, challenges that came for us was that bit of affirming these children.
Yeah.
So my husband had his two elder children are girls. So
daddies.
girls and their daddy.
Please, I'm a
And
daddy's
then
girl.
on my side, my firstborn is a boy. Boys and their mothers.
Yeah.
So that thing of forming loyalty binds, I had to make sure my son knows your dad means well.
Yes.
And of course, I'm the first voice. Because you have the biological parent has to be the first voice.
Yes.
You can't come as a I call them bonus parent. As a bonus parent, you can't get into a family and start stamping authority on day one. You will lose those children totally, because even you are still blending.
Who are you to start?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not how my mom talks to me. Yeah.
And also for me, I also had to come very graciously, knowing that these children lost their mom, so there's nowhere they are turning to.
And they already had a relationship.
Yeah. So it is to come and just come as their friend, come understand them and build relationships.
Yeah. And
allow us space to grow. And I think one of my highlights was when we'd sit down and they would tell me stories about their mom. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
I love that.
Because
so there's room for our mother in this, that we can talk about our mom.
Because I have not come to replace her.
Yeah, you've not come to steal.
No. I cannot replace your mom. I cannot be her.
So you initiated that. Would you encourage them to tell you stories, or was it just an organic thing? Where
I think it was just an organic thing. It just came.
Yeah.
And how it's, when it comes, I also now take advantage and probe some more. And so we get into talking about it.
I love that you allowed space for that. Yeah.
Yes, because I think it also builds trust. What I have seen with time, it builds trust. And they know we are not, like, we have not come to take over.
And you're not competing with who her memory or who she was. And
No.
Yeah.
No. I actually feel it's been very, one of the things that has helped us grow together.
And for them to heal as well.
And even for them to heal. And even for my husband. Because remember, like, the first year, like now on the memory the day she died, and the first year, did we do anything? I can't remember. I remember that day was still, no, we didn't do anything, but we like marked it, we remembered.
Yeah.
And I could tell there's a way he was, like that day he was a bit edgy, so I didn't even tell the girls, what day today is. Today, let's just give dad some grace. You can't be the ones who are, so today, So by year 1, year 2, by year 3, I think we didn't notice. We truly noticed kama ishapita. And for me, because even for him, he knows, if you are to have a discussion, I can't tell him, no, you cannot bring up that discussion. No. Because he's still a human being. They were married for 18 years. At one point, you'll miss him. Yeah. And you see, grief shows up sometimes. We can think we
unexpectedly, because you're triggered by, you don't even know what. Yeah.
Yes. And that is why even for the children, I had to make sure, by the way, you guys, we can discuss mom.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it's something I have done like over time consistently, but when a conversation comes or when an opportunity comes, we will. And especially with my second-born daughter, because she's she came and took over my biological daughter's space. She's all over me. She's so bubbly. Yes. I don't know whether she plans to leave home. But
how old is she?
She's 22, and she'll beat me for saying her age on camera. She says she's 16, but she's such a lovely girl.
Yeah.
And this one who took long to even call me mom.
Yeah.
And remember
they all call you mom, do they?
Yeah,
I love that.
They do.
Yeah.
But like her, she took long.
Yeah.
And I remember telling her, you know what? Whether you want to call me Susan, Pastor Sue, Mama, Kibe, whatever, me, I'm your friend.
Yeah.
Can we just first be friends and build the bond? So one day I remember I'm passing, and then I heard her say, Mom. Did she call me Mom?
Like,
So it came as a,
Yeah.
So you also don't like push it in. You don't. No.
It has to be
And you see
something
that is why you
organic.
have to walk into this in a blended family with your identity intact.
Mm-hmm.
That does not change who I am. Yeah.
And if the child talks to me a certain way, it's not a case of, Kwani, am I not?
No.
Now you start asking yourself questions about yourself. You have to be solid
You
in
have
who
to
you
be
are.
solid, yeah.
Which, it's so interesting because as you were saying all this, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, only girl, last born. There's always a lot to be said for an only girl. There's a lot to be said for a last born, whether you're male or female. But you've come in mature, you've had experience with your own children, you've found healing, you're intact. God goes, you're ready. Time is running out. Yeah. Plants you in this family. And you have created an environment. And it's making me a bit emotional because I have an amazing stepmom. I had her on the show not too long ago during Mother's Day. Amazing. She's never had children of her own and had never previously been married. So it's interesting to me how, only God works this way. That he will have a shepherd looking after sheep out there, and somehow he's preparing the leader of a nation. Yeah. Like, our life experiences don't always translate. He will have someone who is working as a housekeeper, not even a paid housekeeper, a slave running a household, who he knows one day you're going to be prime minister of a foreign nation. Yes. So the ways of God is very interesting to me, but it's the same thing I find with my stepmom. Is like, whatever experiences in life that she was having out there, because somebody can look at her as she was coming in to, like, by the time her and my dad were getting married, adult children, very solid and intact in the memory of our mother. We have established our own, you want to talk about family cultures, with my dad. So you can imagine, I can't even begin to imagine the intimidation of coming in and hearing, oh, he has a daughter who's 30 plus, has a son who's 20 something plus. Do you know what I mean? So already there's that thing of how do I build? And it's so beautiful. Like, sometimes my brothers and I talk to ourselves and go, we can't imagine or can't remember what life was like before she came in. So I think there's that space, like you were saying, it's literally the grace and mercy of God that somehow he prepares one's heart to receive and creates an environment. So she's created an environment where, and I'll actually link that episode back to this, because when I asked her about, what parenting has looked like for her, because I'm like, do you even consider yourself a parent? We don't necessarily call her mom because she came into our lives so late, so we call her by her first name, Flavia. But she's just like, I don't know if it's like it's divine intervention. She's just like, I let you guys handle your stuff with your dad, and then she manages her own relationship with us. And I don't know how, but it just works. And we are a family, and it's great. Do we have our challenges like any normal mother, father, biological children would have? But by and large, considering what it could not have been or been, it works. But I think it takes a lot of intentionality.
It does.
Because even with your kids, and I mean your husband's kids, your kids, all blended, there's a certain level of intentionality that we're talking about this extreme with your second one, where she's gone from apprehensive to suddenly the gates have burst open, and she's just gone in and embraced you and received you as her mom. So our time has run short. I can't believe we're here. But I know you have a community of like, what is it called? Blended. There's a network you have to support blended. Is it?
Of our blended families.
Blended families.
Journeying together.
Yeah. But so for people within my audience that are, I know I have, for example, a friend of mine who is she wants to get into a blended family, and I'm like, okay, it's one thing to want to get into it, but then are you ready? Are you ready for it? Or people who are in blended families at the moment, who are trying to navigate certain, how do we go about this? I wanted for you to address those people. What would your word of advice be to them? Are there networks of support? Like, I didn't even know until as I, got into reading about you and hearing about you, that I started to know that, oh my gosh, there's actually support networks for blended families. So I'd like for you to talk to those people. But also the second group of people, I would love for you to just give a word of encouragement, advice to is single parents. And I've been careful not to say single moms because, like I said, I'm a product of a single dad, and I really appreciate everything he's ever done for us. So let's start with blended families. What would your word of advice to them be, encouragement, and even resource? Where can they get help?
Amazing. So I would be keen to encourage somebody that blended families work. And just like traditional families, blended families are also a lot of work, but with intentionality and with a lot of open communication, shared values. They do work. We are not, at least now, they are being mentioned. When we were growing up, we never used to hear. Then there were step families, and there was nothing good about a step, especially the mother was always a wicked stepmother.
Somehow.
I don't know how. But we have communities. I run a community as well where we journey together in our blended families for people who are already in blended families and those who are looking to join blended families because the dynamics are different because we are bringing two worlds together. Some of them are coming, it's now my children, your children. There's loss and grief in between, so you cannot build it without being intention. And of course, by the grace of God. And so if you're there, be encouraged. They work, and it's not always war. But though you have beautiful memories in there, we are not always fighting, yeah? So they work, and it's a beautiful experience, which now has become embraced even in the society. And for a parent that is parenting alone, I always say that, yes, we normally say maybe single parent, but God is also in it because God is a giver of those children and he does not make a mistake. So wherever you find yourself parenting, whether you're parenting as a single dad, as a single mom, look to God to guide you and to help you to be the best version of himself to those children, and you will do just fine. And if you desire to remarry, then nowadays people are open, so you don't have to get stuck in that, wondering what society will say. No, you have your whole life ahead of you, and I'm cheering you on. Actually, for the single moms I have worked with, I call them silver moms.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of work.
I actually meant to ask you about that. Why silver moms? What does it mean?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of work. It is not easy to show up as a mom, as a counselor, doctor, teacher, protect these children, prophesy. It's not easy. So I salute everyone that parents alone.
Kabisa.
I've been there. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
But they do an amazing job. So cheering you on, there's nothing to fear. God is with you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to put all of your handles, obviously, a description at the bottom of this link. I wanted to just quickly talk about the book. It is Gracefully Broken, where, because you guys have gotten a snapshot of her story, so I feel like we didn't even really get into the fullness of it, but I hope that you've been able to gather what information you need and then even just be able to visit her platforms. So Gracefully Broken, how long has this been out?
It's been a while, like 3 years now.
Really?
It's even being out. The others coming. I have a blended families book.
Oh, yes, I hear that you're writing a second book, yes.
And another book on navigating
My
transitions.
goodness, so 3 books. Yeah. Kabas.
Yeah.
You're an author, kabisa.
Yes.
So yes, Gracefully Broken is the story, I guess, where you'll get the fullness of her story from, what happened with her in terms of the assault and her journey as a single mother, and then into the blended families. Where can they get this?
The book is available at Nuria, and we also deliver.
Nuria, okay. And then, so of course, I can then give you contact details here, and as to how they can order the book. The other thing I wanted to ask is, you talk about the blended family community, claim your crown, all of that we can include here.
Yes.
But if people wanted to reach out to you as an emotional wellness coach, because they're like, okay, that lady's story resonates with me. She sounds like she has a grace for what it is I'm carrying. I need help. How can they get in touch with you?
Our business contact, which I can share with you.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what we'll do is we'll have it at the bottom here. Then you guys, if you want to reach out, book a session, etc., you can. But thank you so much for coming in here. I have lots of questions. I don't know about you guys. I have so many questions that are still going on. And I guess maybe for me, because it's tugged at me where you've talked about blended family. I'm not necessarily from a blended family, but obviously, like I said, we met my stepmom as adults, and then she's also come into our lives as we're adults. So I know that there can be dynamics there and all of that. So, and then it's not a parenting is like, yep, I've got it figured out. I'm good now. No, because as you even mentioned, with your son going through preteens, then teens, then there's so many different things to navigate. Very soon you're going to become probably a grandma. One of your kids is going to get married, and then you're going to navigate that. So there's so many questions that I have. If you guys want to see Pastor Susan on this show again, I need to hear from you. I'm getting my big stick out with subscribe, like, comment, DM me, tell me, hey, bring that lady back here. We've got questions. I want to have her on. Thank you so much for tuning in today. You guys, I like to remind people that you are doing a great job. Sometimes we doubt ourselves along the way. I know I do. This morning as I was having tussle, wiping my daughter's runny nose and all of that. Sometimes you question yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? But I just wanted to encourage you, mom, dad, caregiver, grandma, grandpa, whoever you are, and you're looking after someone, doesn't matter how little or how old they are, I just want to encourage you and say that you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this is the Transparent Parenting Podcast. Kwaherini.
We can start in 3, 2, 1 with a smile.
Juma, you always make me laugh. Good morning, good afternoon.